All right, the language war only gets bigger. Tamil Nadu Minister and Governor lock horns over Hindi and English. The debate only grows louder with the Governor now slamming the Hindi speaker sell Pani-Puri remark made by the Tamil Nadu Education Minister. The Governor says, and I quote, "No question of imposing Hindi or any language. An impression is being created by some people that central government is imposing a language on Tamil Nadu or anywhere. I think that's far from true." This is exactly what the Governor of Tamil Nadu, Ravi, has stated. Let's take a listen what the Governor had to say, slamming the Tamil Nadu Education Minister for making a very distasteful comment saying Hindi speakers sell Pani-Puri.
An impression is created by some people that central government is imposing a language on Tamil Nadu or anyone. I think that's far from the truth. That's not correct. There's no question of imposition of Hindi or any other language on anyone. We have to encourage and enrich every language. Learn from the richness, the wealth that language has.
Tamil Nadu State Education Minister, he said that there is this perception that's being created, an impression that's being created by some people that the central government is imposing a language on Tamil Nadu or anywhere. I think that's far from true. This is exactly the statement coming in from the Governor of Tamil Nadu, Ravi. This is the language war that's grown bigger. In fact, this language war erupted right after the Education Minister of Tamil Nadu said in a very distasteful comment that Hindi-speaking people sell Pani-Puri. This eventually erupted in quite some discussion and debate on this kind of language being used by Tamil Nadu's Education Minister, with the Governor now commenting, slamming this comment by the Education Minister. But let's take a listen. India Today spoke to the Education Minister, who remains defiant on his comment. Here's what he said.
India and Tamil Nadu, we should have our own system, because India is a nation, as the Governor already knows, unitary in diversity. Various cultures are there, various languages are there. In Tamil Nadu itself, we should follow our own educational system. We also borrow the new certain good policies from the new education policy, and we are ready to follow it.
All right, let me quickly go across to Pramod Madhav joining us more on that. Pramod, give us a sense of what the Governor has said, while Governor of Tamil Nadu clearly does not seem happy with what the Tamil Nadu State Education Minister has said when it comes to Hindi language, saying that there is this impression being created that Hindi is being forced upon by the people of Tamil Nadu or anywhere else by the central government, and that is far from true. This is the Governor's response to the State Education Minister. What more do we know? And we know that you spoke to Ponmudi after this comment that he made. What did Ponmudi say?
Well, Nabila, we directly asked the Higher Education Minister, Ponmudi, that was its intention to actually insult Hindi speakers, where he once again reiterated the same stuff, saying that it was not his intention to insult Hindi speakers, but he just wanted to say that earlier it was mentioned that if you speak Hindi, you will get a job, but even in the north, there is unemployment. We're not exactly sure where he's getting the statistics, but that is what the Higher Education Minister said. We also told him that Hindi speakers feel insulted by his comment. He simply said okay to it and walked away. But this interaction occurred yesterday between the Governor and the Higher Education Minister. Governor Ravi once again reiterates that the central government has no intention of imposing Hindi, and it is an impression that is being created by some people. He could have been more clear saying who are that some people are, because Hindi imposition is a word that is blatantly being used by DMK and AIDMK, but Governor refrained from using any names, but he very clearly mentioned that languages, all languages, should be appreciated and enriched and should be learned from, and the centre has no idea of imposing Hindi. This DMK very sure is not going to accept, Nabila.
Well, thank you very much, Pramod, for joining us with those details on that. But here, Tamil Nadu Governor now reacting to the statement that the minister has made. Very distasteful, but let's see how that pans out.